the 2017 Nissan 370Z Nismo. Now, this is one of those really cool, pure rear-wheel drive V6 powered sports cars that we just don't see enough of, and I think sadly this car's time is limited. Welcome to this latest episode of Car Buzz Unboxing Reviews. Now, this is of course the 370Z Nismo, and yeah, this is one of our favorite sports cars that they sell today. Oh, I also want to thank DGDG.com for letting Car Buzz come on down and film this for you today.
Now, how long has this been on the market, this baby?
Well, it's based off, as you need to know, the basic 370Z coupe. It also comes as a roadster.
Right.
And this car actually, it dates back, the 370Z to 2009, and the 370Z Nismo came out the same year as well, but it was refreshed throughout the years, most recently in 2015.
Okay, so not everyone's going to know what Nismo means. You take it for granted. It's the high-end tuning division of Nissan.
Right, it's sort of its unofficial but becoming more official tuning division.
Right,
in-house, high performance. There is, the GTR Nismo. There is the new Sentra Nismo.
So how, like Mercedes has AMG, BMW has M, these guys have Nismo.
Right, but they're now really trying to make it more Nismo. But let's start up this engine here. Okay, and when I say more Nismo, meaning they're trying to incorporate more into its regular car lineup to make it really its official in-house tuning brand. And that engine, it sounds fantastic thanks to Nismo.
It also looks fantastic.
Well, you're right. And that engine is a 3.7-liter naturally aspirated V6, 350 horsepower, and 276 pound-feet of torque. Power is sent directly to the rear wheels, unlike the GTR, which is all-wheel drive. This is solely rear-wheel drive. Now, this particular one is paired to a 7-speed automatic. It's not a dual clutch, it's just a regular 7-speed automatic with a downshift rev matching and paddle shifters.
So what are we looking at that makes it a Nismo and not the standard 370Z?
Well, first off, you have a bunch of Nismo exclusive features. You have the Nismo tuned engine, the signature red cover or engine cover for it,
yep.
Nismo tuned exhaust with the polished tips, those huge cans that you see right there.
And the red trim as well?
Yep, and that red trim.
And there'll be more red trim inside, right?
Oh, yeah. And you have the Nismo tuned suspension, 19-inch forged alloy wheels. You have the Recaro leather appointed seats with Alcantara inserts.
Oh, we'll get to that when we see it inside. But from the exterior, you can see the badge Nismo
you have the
there.
Nismo badge, and you have the body kit.
And those wheels look pretty sick as well.
Oh, they're awesome wheels.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Still a good-looking machine, isn't it?
Yeah. And considering it dates back to 2009,
yeah.
It's held its own. But like I said in the beginning, this thing's time is limited.
Was going to be discontinued?
We don't know. I mean, look, the 370Z was the successor to the 350Z, and these are, of course, the modern Z cars that first came out with the Datsun 240Z back in late 1969 for the 1970 model year.
So they might upgrade it at some point.
Well, right. Well, this is basically the 6th generation of the Z car lineup.
Yeah.
And Nissan has been really sort of mum on it. We don't know what they're going to do. Remember, what was about a year ago, they revealed that Grip's GRIPZ concept.
And that was meant to be the next one of these?
Well, here's the thing about it. It had like a coupe-like body. Kind of slick, almost, a combination of, I would say this, and maybe a little bit of Subaru BRZ looks, really compact and tight, looked great, but it was raised like a hatchback.
Strange.
Right, so we've been trying to figure out, and I was talking to some Nissan people at Geneva last March about, look, what are your plans here? Are you turning the Z car lineup into crossovers? Like, are you serious? And they just won't give a definitive answer.
So they haven't made up their mind, have they?
I think they have.
You think it's going to be an SUV, right?
Not an SUV, like a crossover.
It's a shame, because that is the way the market's going, isn't it?
Right, and it would really just be just an absolute killer to such a great heritage of sports cars.
They're probably thinking, well, we've got Nissan GTR. That's probably all we can afford to have in the sports car lineup.
Well, the GTR...
Or they'll bring out a smaller one.
Right, the GTR is really expensive. This is the smaller one.
But even smaller than this.
Well, that concept, the grips had tighter dimensions than this.
Yeah, I remember.
Here's that engine.
That's a nice looking machine, isn't
Yeah,
it?
0 to 60 miles per hour, 4.9 seconds. 0 to 100 miles per hour in about 12 seconds flat. And top speed is 155 miles per hour, electronically limited.
That's fast enough, isn't it?
Oh, it's enough speed, trust me. And fuel economy, 92 miles per gallon in the city, 26 on the highway, and a combined 22, which
It's not
is
too shabby, yeah.
not too shabby, but in today's world, it really doesn't cut it. And the car still weighs 3,453 pounds, which is over 1,000 pounds more, bear with me, than, say, a Mazda MX-5 Miata.
Right.
Just to kind of put into
quite heavy.
perspective here.
But all this red trim is what makes it Nismo, right?
Right, these are the Recaro Sport seats.
They look pretty comfortable, actually.
They are. Well, that's because they are Recaro Sport seats.
Right.
This is
Top of the line, basically.
Right. The Nismo is more for the speed freaks. They like to, say, autocross it. They could track it.
Yeah.
You can do all that. And you can still do that with the base 370Z, but it's just more fun to do it here. You get that better suspension.
Is it just performance, or they make it more comfortable, they make it more luxurious? Is it just more exclusive car?
It's just a little more exclusive. It's not so much more luxurious, because this is just a sports car. Pure sports cars are not as much about luxury.
Right, okay.
Even though this one is, it's nice enough inside, but take a look at this interior, and man, it looks nice, but it's dated.
Yeah, so you don't feel like that. You don't feel that from the outside, but when you get inside hang on, it's showing its age now.
Right. I step inside, it's like, did I just go back in time 6 or 7 years?
Yeah, it does feel.
Look at that dash. I mean, it's not bad looking.
No, it's well positioned. It's well appointed. It's just the actual buttons and what you're looking at here.
Right,
needs an upgrade.
I like those driver's gauges right at the top.
The design's perfect. It just needs a bit of a refresh, doesn't it?
You got the 7-inch touchscreen there, Bose audio system.
Yeah.
8-way driver's seat, 4-way passenger seat. But yeah, I mean, look, a CD player.
Yeah, you don't see those very often on new cars.
Yeah, it's so 2009, 2010. But yeah, so like we were saying, exterior still looks great. Performance numbers are great. This is still a great engine.
Yeah.
But this is where you see this car's age.
So when you compare this to, say, I don't know, what, a Boxster or something that's in its range, you're going to feel a big difference when you step inside.
Oh yeah, I mean, not just like for the interior design, but just the way the car handles, and you still see little bits of cheap plastics here too.
Yeah.
Because there are, and
this looks a bit basic as well on sat-nav.
It's a decent system.
Yeah.
It's the one that you see in most new Nissans today, and fortunately, this is something that they can just update very easily.
Right, software update.
Right, they made the touch screen bigger a couple years ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's something, but look where the rotary or the control dial is.
It's a bit unusual.
Yeah, more or less you see it today on the center console.
It's like a keypad almost.
Right. Again, 2009 talking to you.
Right. Most people are used to using touchscreen. This is touchscreen as well, no?
It is. But it's just not a very good one anymore.
Okay.
And when you compare it to, like, if some of its main competitors, you had this Porsche 718 Boxster and Cayman.
Yeah. That's a bit more money, though, isn't it?
Yeah, quite a bit more. But then again, I think we were told that, yeah, that's right, that Nissan was saying that nearly a third of 370Z buyers are opting for the Nismo. Now, the base 370Z coupe, right, starts at just about $30,000. But this Nismo one right here, as the base price of it is $46,790, and our car came with a couple extra little features here, like illuminated kick plates for a couple $100. Once you add in the destination, this car right here, grand total of $48,045. Now, a base 718 Cayman and Boxster is around $53,000 to $54,000. Now, those are like the base models.
You're gonna end up spending more like 60, 70 on a Cayman, aren't you?
But you're already spending nearly $50,000 on this. So for you to stretch it maybe $10,000, that might be possible for a lot of people. Especially now, everybody's financing cars. Like, it's just so easy to do
your monthly payment might be that much different potentially.
Correct. And because of that, it's kind of like it's making this great car, the 370Z Nismo, it's just a more difficult thing to justify.
And you've got the Audi TT-RS.
Right, but we don't know its pricing just yet. That's really new. If you want to stretch it a little bit more, this could even possibly be, I might take some hate for this, and I'm prepared for that, Chevrolet Corvette Stingray competitor.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a
Ballsy, I know.
ballsy comparison there.
Right, but you got to understand, these are two naturally aspirated sports cars, rear-wheel drive standard, front-engined,
Yeah.
all about performance. Yes, I know the Corvette has a V8. Clearly, this has a V6. I get it.
Some people like Japanese sports cars.
Right, again,
you know?
and that's what's nice because
It's different.
the Z car is supposed to all be about affordable Japanese sports car tradition. The 240Z, when it came out for this 1970 model year, it just shook everything up.
Right.
And it even got General Motors and Ford's attention, especially General Motors, saying, look at the, Datsun, which was, the predecessor name company to Nissan, look what they're offering.
But it's still got a decent following in the US.
Yeah, the Z cars do have a very loyal following, but those Z car fans, and I know this for a fact, they're screaming for something new. Because since this car came out, what else has come out? That's the affordable sports coupe.
The BRZ.
Exactly. BRZ, now the Toyota 86.
Right, Toyota 86
So-
Scion FRS.
Right. Now, even though those cars only have about 205 horsepower, and they're 2-liter four-cylinder boxer engines, and this
Sure.
car has about 150 horsepower more.
Yeah, it's a different league in terms of
Right.
power.
But the point being, though, is that
It's still
if
an
those
affordable
comes,
sports
right,
car.
it's still an affordable sports car, and Nissan is not the one providing it so much anymore.
So the one you want, i.e. this one's a bit too expensive.
Right, this one is like,
That's a
again,
nice hatch.
yeah,
I
it
wasn't
is.
expecting that, actually.
Oh, really?
No, look at that.
That's part of it.
Nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And
Good
that's the
bit of
thing with
space
the 370Z and the Nismo
It's
model.
got unique styling. It's got its very own personality you can't get from those competitors you were talking about.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of always made a Z car a Z car. And it just, it sort of be like, say Chevrolet killed the Corvette, the C4 Corvette.
Okay, yeah.
And for them to kill the Z car line
Yeah,
at this
wouldn't
point, it's just...
It's a shame
It
if it
would be,
happened.
right, it'd be such a shame, and there's so much more potential here. I don't care if the Z car comes back and it's like a hybrid.
Well, let's
with
not
like
let's
a-
not write it off quite yet. No decision's been made, so you never know.
We don't know, and
Yeah.
that's what's troubling people. We don't know.
Okay, we can try and find out from Nissan next time we see them.
We'll try. We promise everyone we'll try.
Yeah, we'll speak to them. Try and keep it alive.
Right, exactly. So what don't you like about it?
What don't I like about it? Just
Because we keep talking so much praise.
apart from the interior, I didn't think it was overly impressive inside. But when you're buying this car, you probably don't mind that too much as long as it handles well and it, drives nicely.
It does. I mean, it handles well, and with the automatic, which costs an extra about $1,300, and people are actually paying, nearly 1/3 of buyers are paying more for the automatic,
Yeah.
which is a little weird. You can get a standard 6-speed manual.
Yeah, I brought it up for the manual.
Right. Combined with the paddle shifters, I didn't think the automatic was horrible. It is certainly much easier to drive in day-to-day traffic.
Okay.
Say, if you live in, I don't know, LA or something like that, a lot of congestion there on the highways.
There are people that like their manual cars and then,
Yeah.
people that don't really care.
My point being is I could have lived with the automatic in this if
Right,
I
I see.
had to.
Yeah.
Would I
like
take
it
the
from the
manual?
back.
Yeah.
Those big exhaust pipes.
Oh,
That you like them. I'm not sure.
I think they fit this car, especially because of the body kit.
They look a bit ricer though, don't they? Like someone's riced it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
but
surprised
you know
they come
what?
standard, but they're cool. Whatever,
But you
People
know what?
like that stuff.
For this car, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's supposed to. It is a Japanese sports car. Call it a ricer. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's appropriate here.
I do like the back end.
And we don't know how much longer it's going to be on sale. So if you want one, better get one soon. But we're out of time for today. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers then.